right there, losing 2 of his Corsairs. He was able to put DJ Elliott in the red, which is going to help out a little bit. But honestly, and it looks like Denzak now taking his mineral-only expansion. A couple Zealots wandering up, but not really able to get anything accomplished with all these Hydralisks. It looks like they just immediately turned around. And more Scourge wandering in. Finally a cannon up over that ridge. The Scourge getting taken out. But nevertheless, the damage has been done. A lot of the Corsairs taken, just picked out of the air by those Scourge. 2 shuttles knocked down, a Reaver knocked down, really worth their weight, and DJ Elliott going to be able to just macro up. He's in an excellent position to do so. This is actually the stage where I really like seeing Zerg with Burrow out in the field and just kind of using the Burrow at all locations and also drop along the corner just to keep an eye when your Protoss opponent is starting to move out. Just a little bit of a cleanup there on the front door, and just stacking basically a huge army on the front door and burrowing it so that your opponent first of all needs to get observers to make sure that he's not getting completely overrun, but otherwise you just basically have your opponent completely locked in. Now finally a shuttle with some Scourge moving out just as a big Hydralisk army is moving in. And a couple drones just hanging out their aisle, and this could be dangerous. Fortunately, it's just going to be 3 drones. This base isn't very well saturated. All 3 with 1 shot, but a big engagement on the front door in the meantime, and DJ Elliott should bring that shuttle back actually to deal with this threat. This is another nice thing about having that robotics facility right there is if you have when the units are popping out, they're right there to help defend as well. And granted, you can lose it on attacks like this, but I don't know, with the Reaver right there, it can be a lot of help. The front door completely breached. That Reaver going to try to defend from that ramp, but the Hydralisk is going to back up, going to do a lot of damage to Denzak's economy right now. And this is, honestly, this is the stage where he doesn't even really need to macro it anymore. He can just send some troops down here, let him attack, and just start building drones in the background. Let's see if he does in fact do that. It looks like I assume he's building a couple drones here, and that's what the supply is being floated with. Man, I love Starcraft 2. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say that, like, from a commentator's perspective, when I can drop down that production tab, I absolutely love it. The Corsairs running back. Some more plugs for Blizzard, I guess. I know you guys didn't want to hear that, especially the guys who didn't get into the beta. Apologies. But in the meantime, 9 o'clock, pretty well saturated, putting down some creep colonies. Pretty good saturation there. Still not a lot of saturation in the mineral only, but that's really not going to hurt DJ Elliott. It's really all this gas that he's gathering up. He's at Hive Tech. It looks like he's going to go drop once again, and I wonder if he's going to get Ultralisks at this stage. This would be a little bit of a better map for kind of that late game Ultralisk build, just because you have a wider choke, you have a wider ramp. You can really shove it in. Looks like he's going to take another expansion here, bottom right. Let's see if he drops here the 12 o'clock and just takes the islands and everything else. A couple of Corsairs trying to run out in the field, but right now, just flat economically, even if Denzak managed to macro out of his bases really, really well, he's so far behind economically. Even with his extreme macro powers, I wonder, well, I guess his extreme comparative macro powers, because we're not talking about, you know, I love UV sort of thing, but really good for foreigner guy, I say. And I know, but I hate it when people leave comments are like, oh, these guys aren't Koreans. Well, no, they don't do this professionally. Thank you very much. They're still awesome, so love them for who they are. Hydralisks just camping out the natural expansion. Denzak once again is up, and he's managing to maintain the macro, where DJ Elliott lacking a little bit, despite not having a second base really fully operational, moving forward with more Reavers, more Corsairs. But this is the thing, even if he's able to wreak havoc across these main supply lines, I don't feel like these 4 Corsairs and these 2 Reavers are going to do enough. And it looks like drop almost fully upgraded. He's going to put another, and this is also a really bad location to kind of run in and do it, because first of all, he's not stopping any gas production. Second of all, it's not very well saturated, so he's only going to get a couple, well, he's going to get 7 drones right here, and I wonder how long, and also sending in a distractionary attack. Looks like he's wandering out with a couple Zealots, so maybe he'll be able to do some counter damage, moving out towards the main. It doesn't look like DJ Elliott has really noticed it. Okay, finally running some troops out, some Hydralisks trying to come in and provide some support. Still a couple Hydralisks just wandering out in the field. The Zealots aren't continuing to attack. Checking out the 12 o'clock location, looping out towards the right, and this is where having those troops burrowed and having, well, I guess those Overlords in the field are also going to provide some help right there. You can really, it can really help you out, and it looks like Overlord's pretty vulnerable here. Not enough Hydralisks to really deal with the Reavers, in my opinion, particularly if they land. And it looks like they're going to land. They're going to get a lot of kills here. The Sunken Colony really helping out because it's doing damage. It's also distracting. It looks like it was taking target priority on the Reaver blasts. Some Overlord's going to get killed, and unfortunately, DJ Elliott is maxed right at this stage, and he's actually down on supply otherwise. I'm waiting for this large group of Zealots and High Templar to start moving out to wreak some havoc. Looks like one of those Reavers took some damage, but the shuttle still in pretty well health. Looks like it's going to move out. Some Hydralisks are waiting outside this. Oh, poor shuttle. Nice reaction on Denzak's part to pull that back, particularly when he was launching attack, it looks like, in that forward area. So some Zealots wandering around. Let's see if DJ Elliott can pull it together and get some more troops just built up. Because right now, even though he's got production everywhere, this is where you want to have a ton of hatcheries just producing a buttload of troops, and he's rolling a huge bank account right now. He needs to be building stuff, though, and right now I'm not seeing him build a lot of stuff. He's still just hovering around about 100, 112 supply, and he needs to get a lot of units out there. Looks like he's going Greater Spire, interestingly enough, so he was thinking about maybe going Devourers and maybe going Guardians to follow this up. He could build basically 1 billion Mutalisks right now. I mean, he has the resources to do it. Some Hydralisks moving down. They are 2-2 upgraded, so they do have a pretty sizable upgrade advantage. But just too many troops, more reinforcements coming in. Waiting for some Psystorm, actually. This 9 o'clock base is going to get taken out. There is a base in that bottom right-hand corner immediately to replace it. And honestly, it's still 5 bases versus whatever, although DJ Elliott doesn't have a lot of these very well saturated. But he's still rolling a really large bank account. Shuttle just chilling there. I assume the Reavers got taken out of that shuttle while I was missing that. Doesn't look like they got any kills because this base still looks pretty well saturated. Big crash. I've had a lot of Zealots in this bottom right-hand corner, and I almost wonder if this is a big mistake. Good Psystorm right there. Never mind, clears it pretty well. Now Mutalisks just in droves, and beautiful tech switch. Unfortunately, eating a ton of Psystorms. Some Dragoons out in the field as well, and it looks like an Archon morphing in. So Denzak adjusting beautifully to kind of counter this, and he's putting up a really good fight despite a rocky opening. Still with the supply lead, he's going to be able to, if he can wipe out this upper right-hand base and just send this trailing army. I was actually worried his army was going to get trapped up in here, but it looks like he's just going to be able to bull right through. He's at a severe upgrade deficit, though, as well, so he needs to be really careful with this. Not against the Mutalisks, though. So the Hydralisks continuing to push out. Looks like they're going to be able to, eating some more Psystorm, wiping through this, and Denzak putting on a show right now, doing just an excellent job. He needs to start thinking about taking additional bases, though, getting a shuttle here. Okay, it looks like he does have that probe. Wow, that was beautiful timing. GG commentating. It's really lucky, and I like that maneuver from DJ Elliott, scooping up his drones to run them away. He's lost this natural expansion, the upper right. I think he should actually take the island at 12 o'clock as well. Already lost that 3 o'clock base, spawning some Zerglings there to try to take care of that Archon. Is able to do so. Now needs to saturate this bottom right. Still, interestingly enough, he has some minerals still running at each of these expansions. He has an Ultralisk Cavern. Looks like he's going Ultralisk again. It's a very wide map, so I'm not quite sure how effective they're going to be. But Denzak able to secure another base. If he can actually secure this 9 o'clock for himself, or this upper right-hand base for himself, he'll be in pretty good shape. Also, if he can take, I don't know, move up, take this 9 o'clock. If he can take bases and basically keep DJ Elliott on the defensive, he'll be sitting pretty. And right now,